everybody. I'm Georgeryals from Archery Learning Center. I'm at Last Chance Archery. I'm here with Jonathan, and it is time for a thing a week. This particular topic is somewhat controversial. UltraView posted an article of mine on the website about finding your peep or finding a good anchor, and I kind of flip the whole thing over on its head to teach compound shooters how a peep sight and anchor really works on a compound. But before I get into that, I need to let you know you can take archery lessons from me at improvemyarchery.com. You can get online lessons. We'll set up a Zoom and we can talk to each other. You can shoot your bow and I can help you out that way. Or you can set up an in-person lesson in my store and I'll be standing there waiting on you when you get there, and we can go through everything and I can explain this peep sight thing in person and you can try it out and make sure that it's right. So, anchoring and a peep sight, here we go. One of the problems with archery coaching is often there is incorrect information that was invented 40 years ago, and it keeps getting passed forward because it sounds right, and it's not. So any of you archery coaches out there, actually test some of these things that I'm going through and make sure that it sounds like it makes sense to you, it uses real science, and it actually works. Because every internet archery coach in the world will tell you must have a solid anchor. You'll take these two knuckles and you'll put them on your jaw and you must touch this spot. You must have your hand here. And everybody comes to me during lessons saying, I'm having a hard time finding a good anchor. Well, in the early years of archery, in the 60s even, everybody was shooting a recurve bow. And with a recurve, you must have a solid anchor and your nose has to be touching the string. And the reason for that is the recurve bow doesn't have a peep sight. So if your anchor is loose or if it's changeable, that breaks your vertical accuracy. And with a recurve, if you're not touching your nose to the string and you change your head angle, that'll change where your arrow hits vertically. So you must touch your nose to keep your head normal to the bow, and you must have a consistent and solid anchor. Everybody kept passing that information forward even after the invention of compound bows, even after putting a peep sight in the string. And then we have this tiny little hole that makes our anchor ridiculously consistent. So now with compound bows, the peep is the anchor, and it doesn't matter what you touch on your face. Now let me illustrate this for a second. When you take your sight, and right now my sight is set on 20 yards. So the viewing angle between the peep and the sight at full draw will work out just beautifully when I'm touching my face. But when I move this sight down here for say 100, the viewing angle has to change in order for me to be able to see through the scope and have the peep encircled with the target. Notice I just said the peep encircled with the target. The reason that I said that is we're shooting at the target, and all of the sight manufacturers put a ring around the sight because you want to ring your peep with the sight. That's not necessarily true. And if you think about it, with a scope that has a dot in the middle, if you ring the target and then put the dot in the middle of the target, the scope automatically aligns itself. The scope body doesn't actually matter. If you have multiple pins in a pin box, or let's say you're using an UltraView bonus pin, if you circle on the scope, your mark spacings will be inconsistent and they won't be accurate. What you do is you encircle the target and then put the pin in the middle of the target, and the pin will be in the middle of the peep, not the scope body. That way all of your marks will be consistent graduations all the way down the bar. Now this is how that you draw your bow back and you let the peep tell you where to anchor based on the distance. First, I'm going to draw back and anchor with my sight on 20, and we'll see where it is I have to touch my face. So let me get an arrow here. I got a target butt right there, and Jonathan's going to zoom in so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the bow. I'm going to put the pin on the target first, so that way I'm setting up the shot at the target. Then I'm going to put the peep close to my eyeball. I'm going to look through it first and get it centered with the target. Then I'm going to finish my anchor. So your anchor is going to be really close, but you don't want to lock it down before you look through the peep. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to demonstrate what happens when you do that, right? So notice the face contact I get when I anchor first. I'm going to draw the bow back, put the pin on the target, and then I'm going to anchor first, and then I got to look through the peep. Now you see all that face contact that I'm getting with the string there? That happens because I anchored first and then looked. But if I put the pin on the target and then put the peep in front of my eyeball like this, and I look through, then I can anchor. Now I don't have all that face contact. And if you shoot with glasses, that'll help you shoot through the real prescription in your glasses as well. So I'm going to do that again so you can see how I anchor. Jonathan, you can kind of get this straight on view here. And there you go, that'll be good. And I'll pull back. And then I put the pin on the target. And then I'm going to put, without moving my head, I'm going to put the peep right up here close to my eyeball. I'm going to look through it first and then touch my anchor. What you touch, whether if you touch your nose to the string or not, it won't change where your bow hits if you're using a peep sight with a small hole. So pin on, peep close to my eye by moving this hand here. See how I move this hand to position my peep? Then I'm going to put the peep and look through it first, get my head set, then I'm going to touch my anchor so that I'm ready to go. Now, let's see what the anchor looks like when I run this sight all the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to put this sight down here on, I'm going to put it on 100. Let's see. Now I got my sight on 100, and I'm going to draw back. And you notice that my anchor was kind of like right here, like this. So let's see what happens to my anchor with my sight on 100. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put the peep in front of my eyeball, and then I'm going to anchor. And you can't really tell, but the anchor is lower, and it's a little bit looser at 100 than it is at 20. See, at 20, I'm more like this, and at 100, I'm down here. I don't know whether if you can see the difference, but I can definitely feel the difference. So by putting the pin on the target first and looking through the peep, that's like looking at your target and then putting the binoculars up to your eyeball, right? You wouldn't shoot at a deer in the middle of a power line by shouldering your rifle first and then hunting down for the target, right? So instead, we let our body be the consistency. We draw the bow back to full draw, put the pin on the target, and put the bow up to us. So that way, we can control the consistency by letting the peep tell us where to anchor. All you got to do is make sure that the peep is centered with the target, and your brain actually does that naturally, so you don't have to worry about it that much. So let the peep tell you where to anchor, and you'll get your most accuracy. For stability, set your peep in your mid-range distances. If you're shooting tack, you're going to be out to 100, you're going to be at 3 yards or whatever, or break the barriers or whatever. Set your peep in the fat middle where most of the targets are, 55, 60 yards. Set your peep there, so that way it's not a big trade-off in between the long and the short distances. It's just somewhere there in the middle. So there you have it. Look through the peep first and then anchor, reduces face contact. Let the peep tell you where to touch, and what you touch on your face isn't what creates your accuracy. Less contact with the string and your face will actually increase your accuracy, especially with broadheads. So, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, improvemyarchery.com. LastChanceArchery.com. See you next week.